of Jacob is part of the interesting things in this conversation because Son of Jacob was distributed through Platoon. The agreement with Platoon was signed in 2020. From that period all the way 2021, 2022, the album was being worked on. In fact, as at 2022, we're still busily clearing from the UK, clearing from Nigeria, clearing copyright and things like that. As at 2022, we were hit with a copyright claim in relation to winning, which we had to renegotiate and deal with all of that on the low before the album was put out. Now, subsequently, after the album was put out, then Kwesi walked away from Ground Up, even though he had one more year. That's 2023.
Okay. So are you suggesting he left before the expiration of the contract?
Definitely, yes.
So he left in which year?
Like 2022, shortly after the release of Son of Jacob.
Okay, so the renewal was it 21?
Exactly, 21.
And then 1 year
The 4 year ended in 21.
Renewal, he left. Okay,
Yes.
so what did you say to him when he left?
Well, I mean, I didn't have direct conversations with him. Shortly after he left,
when I say you, I mean Ground Up.
Yes, so what I'm saying is that shortly after he left, he instructed U.S. counsel to write to Ground Up and provide a draft termination agreement for the termination of the deal. And I think the terms of that draft termination were not favorable, so they were reviewed. I think they sort of skewed the rights in favor of Kwesi at a time when a lot of the expenses had not been recouped. So the terms of that termination agreement were reviewed, but nothing came of it after that. And since then, so let me conclude on that by saying that since then, the main issue between Kwesi Arthur and Ground Up have mainly been two before this week. First being Kwesi Arthur asserting ownership rights over Son of Jacob, even though it was released under contract, even though it was released with all the support of Ground Up. If you look at even the DSPs, you see that it's under Ground Up. I've just told you 2022. I was working on clearing for that album, so it came out through the structure. But somehow Kwesi Arthur claims that album is not Ground Up's, and so Kwesi had been going around to shops, basically defaming Ground Up, claiming rights to that album, and interfering with the exploitation of that album. So that's I would say is the main thing. And then the second thing that has come up this week has to do with his use of footage, images and videos that were recorded during the period when he was under contract. As I've explained, everything that was created during that period is owned by Ground Up.
Good.
And so
this part is of great interest. So these images and footage are those that were captured when he was under Ground Up.
Yes,
right?
The footage that he used to promote the current project. Yes, a lot of the footage that he used to promote the current project.
And when you say when he was under Ground Up, was it after the renewal or the very first signing?
No, they even date back to the very beginning. A lot of them also date back to the very beginning. I think especially the video footage, like it dates back to the time when Kwesi was on the come up, and so it has a certain emotive value. It has, it reminds people of how they felt about Kwesi at that time, and it generated a certain buzz. I think everybody saw the buzz online, how people connected to it. It's all part of the sentiments that those images evoked, and these were all images that he was using without authorization. So that is the communication that was sent to him, that he was using the images and monetizing them without authorization. He had also incorporated them in the album art, and he was asked to desist, and he refused. Another email was sent to him, and I mean, we don't want to just be speaking, without substantiation. And that's why I've shared with you the various correspondence that were sent to him on it. You see how decent the language is. You see how measured the language is. You see how commercial the language is. There's no violence. There's no threat. There's nothing as wide as a claim as to own the human being, as wide as to claim, rights over his entire image. There's nothing of the sort there. So it's really odd to see these claims.
I talk to businessmen way I know how to structure things. I get what I'm saying. So Kwesi Arthur should find ways, maybe if he can reach out to me and let's talk about it and see how if we can also support. Because if his team is even saying he owes $150,000, why is $150,000? We can gather money and pay for him so that we can free him out of that thing. You understand me? If the people is the money that's the money they want. Like the way I'm here, me, Stoneboy, Sarkodie, Medical, everybody, we need to be able to contribute because he's already signed a contract. And in the court of law, you can't take cry and the people want to kill me and it won't work because you signed. I get what I'm saying. So it's two solutions. It's either he looks for maybe me and let's sit down and let me give him some experience tactics that we can use and make this music business work for him. Otherwise, then I think the way everybody cares about Kwesi Arthur, who is a very great artist and he's also, putting Ghana on the map here and there and stuff like that, we have to try and quickly find a solution for him. Either we contribute and pay that debt for him, and that is where Ghana music has gotten to. Because everybody is claiming, they are working hard. So if we are working hard, it can happen to the next man. It can happen to any other person. It can happen to me. It can happen to, anybody. So let us also try, and that will be another solution for us to just get him out of that deal. Because any which way that will do, his management team is right. Kwesi Arthur is also right because he signed a contract to work with them. He has things that he has to do with them. So none of them is wrong. It's just that one person wants to call it off. And if you want to call it off, you know the deal already. You have to pay $150,000 and get off. We don't have to cry about it. We are men. We are grown. Now Ghana music has opened to a point that we can support. So this is why I talk about when unity comes like this, when one of our brothers have a problem like this, we should be able to say, Charlie, let's contribute and pay for him. And that is the first solution that we can attack. So if any artist is ready, me, I'm ready. I can support to pay.